Welcome back everyone. Thanks for checking out another video. This is coming to you from Williamsburg, Virginia and Kingsmill Golf Club. This is the river course to be specific. If you're not familiar with this, there are three different courses that they offer. So there's the river, the plantation, and the woods course. The river course is kind of the quote-unquote must-play. I think it's touted as one of the best in the area, maybe even in the state. But my understanding is they used to host a bunch of PGA and LPGA tour events. I think they stopped doing it. I couldn't tell you why, but just to give you an idea, I mean, this course is a PGA and LPGA. It is a tour caliber type course, and it is an absolute treat to play. This might be a hot take, and this isn't just a comment to get you all to stay and watch until the very last hole, but this course, the first 15 holes, they're nice, they're great. I think what really wins me over is just the conditions, but you can argue that for any type of resort course or nicer course where you do pay top dollars, so yeah, you got that. But oh my goodness, it might be the best three finishing holes I've ever played in any course in my young, short golf career. I don't even care if you skip the whole video and just watch 16, 17, 18. I mean, those three holes, up until that, I was like, decent course, fun but decent, and then those three just blew me away. So again, buckle up and hopefully you stay tuned for that. But as we're touring this, I think for those that are trying to do golf trips in Virginia, this is definitely one of the ones that you probably found online or looking up and considering. And if you do some research, I think the Williamsburg area is usually the #1 area. I think there's like the Omni Homestead Resort, Wintergreen has a resort, Boar's Head in Charlottesville actually has one of my favorite courses, but Williamsburg is just kind of known in Virginia. You need to check it out. So if you do a trip in Williamsburg, you have to play this one. And I think I was saying a moment ago, just kind of my 2 cents overall. The one downside of this course, if you want to play the river course, which is what everyone wants to play, you kind of have to. You have to be a guest on the resort. So I mentioned that because the Golden Horseshoe, which is just down the road, it's actually open to the public. So if you're ever trying to do a golf trip, you can stay at both. Both have fantastic amenities and good hotels and lodging overall. But if you want to play this course specifically, you have to be a guest. Just keep that in mind. All right, so moving on to the actual golf course itself. As you can see, the putting green, we're going to the driving range, the indoor food, club bar, and just overall clubhouse. I mean, it's top notch. It's very, very fancy, as you can imagine, as it's a top destination to play. We caught it on a fall day, so you can see that I'll be in like a hoodie and shorts. It gets chilly, but it's not chilly. It was actually super windy, so at tee off I was freezing. I think it was like 50 degrees. It does warm up, but the conditions were still very, very good for this time of the year. And we're going to be playing the tee box, which I usually like to play around 64, 65, maybe 66. That's very comfortable for me. I decided to play the blue tee box, which is about 6,300 yards. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is my anniversary weekend. My wife and I were just playing for fun, playing casual. There's no point in trying to go all out and go crazy, so we decided to scoot up, have fun, just have ourselves a day, pop some nooners as the cart person, rolls around. We're gonna have ourselves a day. So the first hole, it's a very straightforward hole in the sense of not too much trouble, a couple bunkers, and it's a shorter one, around 350 yards. And I will admit, reflecting on this and looking back, and I think I did the same thing for the Golden Horseshoe, the Gold Course, if you watch that video of mine. But when I did scoot up, I had a lot more fun. I did score well, but I think for my handicap level, driver wedge, driver short club, it can get kind of boring. So I don't mean that in the sense of like I'm too good of a golfer to be playing. It's not like I'm breaking par. And fun fact, this is going to be the most interesting round. We play good golf, but it doesn't really show score-wise. But I just mention all that because resort golf, you're meant to have fun, but this is a course where if you're going to play one of the top ones in the areas, I wish I did scoot back to know what I would shoot. From a tee box, I'd probably play if all my buddies or if money's flying around. But anyway, on to hole 2. You can see we have a pretty short par 3, and the wind was crazy. So the wind, I don't know if it's just like this round or every round, but I feel like every time I play on a windy day, it's always into the wind, and then you expect it to be behind you at some point. It just never is. It's just, I don't know, the golf gods making fun of me, but I will walk away with 2 very, very easy pars. You can see I left both putts short. I think I gave it too much respect. This should be an absolute shocker to everyone who follows the channel. I did not spend a single second on the putting green. I know like pros, they probably spend 90% of their times on the putting green, which is where I should be. So I didn't know how the greens were rolling, and I kind of just went into this knowing that resort golf, it's going to be nicer, faster, quicker. They weren't as fast to start. Now, I don't know if it was cold. I just couldn't put my finger on it. But anyway, here's a par 5. I had a really terrible drive that just missed the bunker. We had a punch shot, which leaves us like a almost like a 120 shot in. And I don't know if you can see that ball. I missed. This is why this course is challenging. You can see it's an elevated kind of turtleback green. I missed my spot by maybe 2 yards. If I had another yard or two, it floats up there and rolls on. Instead, I barely hang on, rolls all the way down, and we're chipping back on. I had a pretty dirty flop shot right there. I was really hyped on it. So really, really good flop shot to leave myself about 5-6 feet for par. And oh, I thought that was good the whole way. I put a really good stroke on it. I told myself not to leave it short, so I did give it some juice. Really bad bogey on a par 5 that was very scoreable. It was only 480 yards, but didn't play it that well. You had a bad tee shot, you had to punch, and then we just missed the approach onto the next. When I told you earlier that the wind was swirling, this is like an embarrassing, this is like a 380 yard par 4, as you can see. And my drive, I think that went like 215 tops into the wind. I hit a BS spinny cut, wasn't a good swing, but I have 155 into this. Yeah, that ball went nowhere. So I decided to take a little extra club here. I think I played 6 iron into 155, and I flared it out again. So we're not going to blame me, the swing. We're going to blame maybe the golf ball was damaged, the wind. It was obviously the wind, but look how short I am. I left that ball like 50 yards short. As you all know, if you follow this channel, I rely on the short game pretty heavily. I'm very, very happy with that shot. I thought I almost dunked it for a second. I have myself about 5-6 feet for par, and now that I think I have a decent feel for the greens after that last putt, I'm very confident in this stroke, and I think I can make it. And of course we don't, but that's okay. That's okay. Back-to-back bogeys, they happen. We didn't play the hole that great again, and so we should actually be happy with a bogey. And so kind of just taking a step back for a moment and giving my feedback on the course so far. So I know we're only a few holes in, and I actually really liked this hole, by the way. This par 3 is really, really cool. It's a little more secluded. You had to cross the street to get here. But it leads me to my big thing, and maybe this is just a preference. Everyone has their preferences. I'm not a big fan of courses that have like houses, mixed in everywhere. And I think someone can correct me if I'm wrong and they know this better than me, but I think half the houses were just a part of the resort, so you can rent like cabins and stuff like Pinehurst style. You can rent a cabin and stay on the actual golf course. But I think there's actually a mixture of certain houses that are like actual houses. People live there. Again, I don't know that for a fact, but it's just always, to me, when you're paying top-notch, paying top dollar to play a course, I want a golf course that's secluded. It's just me and the course, and the fact that you have houses everywhere, people walking dogs. I don't know how they played PGA Tour events on here. I mean, I know there's a bunch of events that have sometimes it's like intermingled into neighborhoods and whatnot, but that might be the only gripe that I have. I think overall, the course was very, very fair. I think it has a good mixture of wide open tee shots and then strategic tee shots. The greens, you have to know, this is the first time I've played it, so there are a few greens that I think I would have played slightly, a little differently. Hole 3 with the par 5, that's a really good example. I wouldn't have pin hunted if I knew that the turtleback and kind of the height of it was that tall. I would have just aimed for middle, fat part short, and then played my miss as like a pull to the left. Anyway, I'm getting all crazy here. The point I'm making is just the course overall, and hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Like, it's nice, it's decent, but look at all the houses on the left, just as I was mentioning. The fact that those are just intermingled in between kind of throws me off. It almost feels like I'm back home here in Northern Virginia, which is, you have like houses everywhere as they're trying to make space for golf courses. But anyway, let's go back to this hole, and we have our next par 5. It's about 500 yards. I actually had a really, really good drive. That was probably my drive of the day. Center face, had the small cut that I really wanted. It was a really, really good strike. I swing out of my shoes here thinking I could get there. The club that I swung is just about 230, so if I clocked it good, I'd be at the pin. Worst case, I'm a little short. Obviously, when you swing out of your shoes, you do stuff that's just not natural. And I did snap hook it short into this rough. And I don't know if you can see the elevation there. This is a really, really hard shot. Anyway, we get it onto the green, and I don't know if you can see the hole. We leave ourselves about 12, maybe 13 feet. I think this is a very, very makeable putt. I had this fairly straight, slightly turning, so you can see. Oh, I can't believe that putt missed. I told myself don't leave it short as we sail it about 2.5, 3 feet by, but I will take that every time. Worry about the comebacker after the fact. We had a really good look for birdie. So again, I think I said earlier that this round was really weird. We played decent golf. We had a lot of looks at birdie, but just didn't convert on anything. This is probably hole 8. I have this circled as my favorite hole out of the first 15. I should have done a better job. If you look at the left-hand side, all of that is water. So it's just water. It's a really, really beautiful view, by the way, especially this time of the year. Do you see how it's like a downslope to my left, to the left of my feet? So I somehow just hung on. I guess I'm just, I know the course like the back of my hand. But if my ball went like another 2-3 yards, it probably rolls down into that rough, and then you have water if it was short of that. But the hole was so cool in terms of the tee shot. I think the approach shot you really have to think about. So this green is fairly wide open. There was actually a hidden bunker I didn't know about, and look at that roll. I thought we drained one. This is what I was talking about. We had a really good drive, good approach, and we have a really good putt there that lipped out. We got it there, barely missed, and that's just the definition of the round today. So anyway, we'll take a nice 4 there on that par 4, and then here's the last hole of the front 9. I'm about to go into my shot of the day, in my opinion. So we have a decent drive here. It's a little leaky. It's a lot more right than I wanted, but I actually you actually want to be right here, in my opinion. It gives you a better angle into the green, but this is what keeps you coming back to golf. So the pin. It is on a turtleback green all the way tucked in the far right. This is like a tournament pin. I decided to go left green and fade it over. And if I fade it enough and it's good, perfect. But if not, if I miss it and hit it straight or pull, it's safe. So like I was saying, on that far right-hand side, there's bunkers, and it's like a good 20, 25 feet if I had to guess. So it just drops off. You want to stay really far away. But that was my shot of the day, even though it didn't look like it. This is what makes golf so fun, is when you can visualize, you plan, and then you execute it. Oh, it's just what keeps you coming back. So a really, really good hole. And keep in mind, this is a 445-yard par 4. And I think like one of the par 5s we played was like a 479. So just to give you an idea, that was not an easy hole. I can't remember what the handicap was, but if I had to rate it, I mean, that had to have been the number 1 handicap, like maybe top 2. But anyway, we stop at the clubhouse, you use the bathroom, we take a quick break, and here we are on hole 10. This is actually a really intimidating tee shot. Hole 1, you're not really in front of the clubhouse. That one, especially if you're playing the blue tees or further back, you are like right in front of the clubhouse. People who are grabbing drinks or eating food, like you are right in front of them. I'm lucky there weren't a lot of people there. I think there was like a couple watching, but that can be a really intimidating tee shot. So anyway, hole 10, it's a straightforward par 4. I have a really bad drive. We pull hook the approach. I had the distance spot on. I just pulled it left. So this is where, if I can just rely on the short game, funny enough, this is going to look really, really good on camera. So I take a pitching wedge, and I've been working on this shot. It's like a low bump and run. I actually kind of thinned that, and it just ended up being really, really good. I thought it was going to de-green off the green. That's how much that's how low I caught it, but it somehow worked out really well, and then we end up capitalizing to save par. So that's my golf game in a nutshell. Okay drive, horrible approach shot. We thinned the approach shot, but if you can make putts, you will score well. And speaking of scoring well, I mean, we're 2 over for a brand new course, and yes, we're scooted up, but we are 2 over through 10, and I think I take that every day of the week. So this is a hole that it goes a little left. I wouldn't call it a dog leg left, so I was trying to draw it off the trees to the right, and of course we end up snap hooking it. But this is probably one of my favorite shots. So it's about a 150 pin. I take a 7-iron. I take a little extra club. This would be like a normal 8-iron if there was all things considered. I take 7, plate like 160, 165 with a swirling wind. I throw a dart. It was a blind shot. I put this to about 9-10 feet from basically the rough and behind the bunker. So I was really, really excited for this shot. I told myself, this has to go in. Let's get a birdie. That's the worst putt of all time. I had it breaking the other way, and it just hung out to the right. So, that happens. I was really struggling to read greens this whole trip between the horseshoe and this. There were a few holes that where I thought it was going the completely other direction. I'm lucky the pace was okay, but yeah, maybe we need to learn aim point or something, which apparently this course teaches aim point, is one of the top ones in the area, so maybe I gotta come back. This is another example of I tried to thread the needle and hit a draw around the trees and shot shape it. I don't know how it happened, but it was headed for the all of the different branches and leaves of that big tall tree. I somehow get through. It was like the luckiest thing in the world. It gets through, leaves me into the first cut, but a really good approach into the green, and it leaves me about 15 feet for birdie. So this just sums up my day. Anywhere from like 10 to 15 feet for birdie. The good news is I think I have a pretty good feel for the green, so speed is not what I'm worried about. But can I just get the read right? No. This is what I'm talking about again. That just hung out straight. I would have bet my life that was turning left a lot, and it just hung out right. So par, par, par to start the back nine. I don't think we're that angry, but that's just, we can easily make a couple of those putts if I had it back again. This was a really unique par three. So you can see on the mini map, all to your right, you just have a lot of water. So it's actually a really, really cool tee shot. Depending on the time of the year where the boxes are, this could borderline be like a blind shot. It was kind of hard to see the pin. I had a really, really good shot there. I think I played 8 iron into this 158. We had a little bit of helping wind, so I played it more like 150 to 155. You can see it got past the pin. I hit a really good putt, and again, just didn't go in, so we're not too mad, believe it or not. I know I'm complaining about it, but we are not too mad. So we start the back nine with 4 straight pars. We will take it. We had really, really good looks at birdie. They've got to fall at some point, right? Here we go on to the next hole, and this is, I remember this hole, I was like, this is just a very basic hole. There's like a couple bunkers, it's fairly straight, it's short, then of course you have some houses left and right. So this is what I'm talking about, where the course was cool. You have a lot of these. You'll have a few mixed in that you're like, wow, these are really cool. And then you have some of these where it's like, am I just back in Northern Virginia playing Algonquian golf course? And that's not a knock on Algonquian, but my pet peeve about that one is just, it's the same hole over and over and over again. It's just like a par 4 straight. Maybe there's a bunker in the fairway, maybe not. But you can see there, I misread it again. I had that going really straight and it just snaps off right. So this one was a little outside of gimme range. Even for just casual golf playing us two, I don't feel comfortable taking like a 3.5. I think this might even be closer to 4 feet. So we line it up. We want to take our time because this could be a really big putt for par, and we save it, where we are now scratched through 5 in the back 9 with 4 to play. And this is the last hole before we get into the best stretch of golf that I think I've ever played. Best 3-hole stretch, I should say. So we got a par 5, and again, super short par 5. I should have taken advantages. I had a really bad shot. I actually thought this was OB, so I actually take a provisional. I cut that out, but I took one because I didn't know if I was in play, not in play. But I actually would have preferred to be in the bunker rather than this spot. You see the trees above me. I couldn't stop thinking about those trees and the tree branches, so the pin was a little more right. I decided to play it safe and just punch it out there, leave myself 57 yards, as you can see. But this is a very, very scoreable hole if you can have a good drive. However, you can see, do you see the red stakes on your right? This is almost like a one-sided hole. Everything right is OB and falls off, and everything that you want to keep in play is to the left, but then it's surrounded by woods, trees, and bunkers. So it's actually a really cool hole in terms of the design of it, but as you can imagine, it does reward placement. And oh boy, look at this one. I had a really good read. It does go right to left. I started a little too outside, but we do end up getting it there just past. I think we missed that by 2-3 inches. We will take it. And ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. If you skip to this part, first off, look at where, I mean, this is almost, it's bringing like beach vibe, like Kiowa ocean vibes here. I mean, this is like a really, that's the James River in the background. Now, the downside is you can see all those houses like on the left and right, but look at this view. What a damn approach shot. This was gorgeous. I think my wife and I took a picture here with this in the background. Like, you could make this a postcard. So you have the James River there, beautiful trees, and this green, even though it looks wide open, you can see that all of that on the left is the bunker and fall off. You do not want to stay there. So I think subliminally in my mind, I left it short and right. But we do have a putt for birdie, and oh boy, I was like laughing to myself if I hit the back of the flag stick. Whoops. So we end up We end up with a putt for par about 5-6 feet. We sail it by. It was a misread on me, and yikes, the dreaded 3-putt on arguably one of the coolest holes ever. We'll take that bogey. We still have a decent round going on, so 1 over through 6 on the through 7, excuse me, on the back. And look at this. Oh man, I somehow deleted the footage, but I end up, I take like a panoramic, I scroll around, I show you the tee box, but if you can just imagine on the right, and this mini map will come off in a second, but on the right hand side, the James River with the trees, oh my goodness, I can't even put it into words. Hopefully you can see how beautiful this is. I end up actually just zooming in to show you I hit a really, really good one here. I think I put it to about 6-7 feet, as you can see right there. And take a look at this. I decided to take this this video from a super wide angle from the back. Can you imagine with that in the background? Just look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm so lucky my wife and I caught this on a beautiful day. Is fall golf the best? You know, a little bit of hoodie and shorts weather. I don't know if you're a long pants and maybe short sleeve player, but there is nothing better than a sunny day with a slight breeze and it's maybe 60s. Oh man, what a day. Hole 18, and look at this finishing hole. So you have the James River now cutting across your tee shot, and you can see on the mini map, you can kind of choose your own adventure where the further left towards the pin you can go, unless you're Bryson, which can probably drive the green and just take a straight shot, but you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go in terms of how much you want to take off. Funny enough, you're gonna laugh, I was trying to aim a little more dead center, more left to really cheat it, and I hit a flaring BS drive to the right. It ends up hitting the fairway, but it leaves me with like a 4-iron in. So I hit a really good shot. It's pin high, but you can see that I missed it right. This is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This might be the worst hole I have on camera. It's borderline embarrassing, but I love keeping it in just to show you that, you know, we're human too, us YouTubers. Just because I post videos and I have a YouTube channel doesn't mean I'm good. We still do that. Oh boy. That was, so keep in mind, we chip on, which is a very, very basic chip, and D-green into that bunker. I tell my wife to keep rolling. I tell her this might be a blow-up hole waiting to happen, but I want you all to view it with me. So we end up blading the sand wedge over, so we're now back even further than where we started. So this is going to be a chip for bogey, and you can see there's different cuts. So we are officially into that second cut, and it was really, really thick here. So my goal is just to take as much club as possible, get it on the green, and worry about the putt in a moment. So we take it, and we don't even get it on the green. We are just short. I mean, obviously we're gonna putt that, but yikes, that was not ideal. I tell my wife as I'm laughing, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. We're doing it live. Insert that gif here. We're doing it live. Anyway, so we take the putter out. I was actually debating, do I I think I usually take my pitching wedge and bump and run this, but that was the club that D-greened me. So we take putter. I mean, we're kind of just checked out, I'll be honest with you. So we putt that to like 10, 12 feet. Great. So this is to save a triple bogey now. So we have, I don't know, 10 feet, 10, 11 feet for triple bogey. And I didn't even really take my time. I walked up, just hit it. We end up missing it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a quad bogey. That's a quad bogey on hole 18. Not ideal. You can see me here about to chirp the camera.
Well, that sucks. That's how you bag a handicap. You just smack it around.
All right. Not the best way to end with a quad there, but we still end up shooting a 78. You know, it's one of those woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I didn't have that, I'd score even better. But you know what? We scooted up. We had fun. We had a lot of chances. We didn't capitalize. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned. We got a few more coming out, hopefully in the next few weeks.